It commences with revealing an abandoned town in a state of disrepair. The walls of a pharmacy are covered with numerous missing person flyers. A family moves silently through the area, barefoot, navigating a pharmacy that's in worse condition than the street. A young girl with hearing aids explores the shop with her younger brother. The family's mother, a woman named Evelyn Abbott, sifts through prescription bottles. After selecting one, she administers the medicine to her ailing son Marcus, using sign language. She reassures her deaf daughter Reen that Marcus is okay. Reen approaches the youngest family member, Bo, who sketches a rocket as his escape plan. Despite Reen's expressions, it's evident that even a rocket won't help them at this point. Bo attempts to grab a toy from the shelf, but Reen catches it swiftly, breathing heavily. The father, named Lee, watches in horror from the doorway. He instructs his youngest to join their mother, showing Regan some electronics he found, suggesting they might enhance their radio range. He gives his daughter some pliers for reasons unclear. Evelyn informs her husband that darkness will soon fall. Lee swiftly takes a noisy toy from Bo, removes the batteries, and tells his son it's still out. The family begins making their way home, and Reen, feeling bad for her brother, gives him the toy. However, she takes the batteries as they leave. With that, the family starts walking barefoot on a sand trail they have created, stealthily moving through train tracks to arrive at a bridge with B at the end of the line. Lee carries Marcus at the front. A sudden sound from the toy stops Lee in his tracks. He drops Marcus and races towards B, but he's not quick enough. The young boy is snatched and instantly killed by an alien creature. 383 days later, on day 472, Reen is lying down relaxing until she suddenly jumps up. Her mother tells her to walk alongside her as they are being monitored by Lee's extensive security system in the basement. There, he also has multiple news extracts that report an alien invasion and notes that say blind attack sound, indicating that there are at least 3 creatures in the area. He plays an urgent distress signal on his radio, desperately seeking a response. When met with silence, he switches to the next frequency outside. In the farmhouse, Marcus sits inside a car, immersed in a fantasy of driving like his father. Spotted. Marcus's father understands the boy's frustration, prompting him to head back to the house and descend into the cellar. There, preparations for another child on the way unfold. As night falls, Lee sits atop the grain silo, reminiscing over old photos of his deceased son. Meanwhile, Evelyn, in another part of the farmhouse, connects an oxygen tank to an infant breathing mask, closing a crib in a sorrowful ritual. Lee, watching the timer, notices the lights illuminating the farmhouse, prompting him to light a fire on the roof. From a distance, multiple fires flicker to life. Evelyn finishes preparing dinner, instructing Reen, the typical teenager, to fetch her father. The family gathers around the dining table, sharing a meal as the night progresses into board games. During the game, Reen accidentally smacks a lantern, prompting a tense moment of silence to see if the creature's heard. A sigh of relief follows, interrupted by a loud noise. Lee peeks out the window, discovering it's just a raccoon, allowing the family to exhale collectively. Unbeknownst to them, the creature is closer than they think. Lee heads to his workshop to craft a cochlear implant for his daughter, Evelyn, who visits and shares a comforting moment. As the day ends, day 473 begins, like any other for the family. Lee pours sand on pathways for noise prevention, while Evelyn checks her blood pressure and contemplates a soundless birth in 20 days. Regan cautiously enters another house on their farm, adhering to marked floorboards. Attempting to explore the basement, Lee intervenes, cautioning her, and presents a cochlear implant, explaining its use. Regan is skeptical, but ultimately accepts the device. Back inside, Evelyn teaches Marcus math, interrupted by Lee's announcement that it's time to leave. Regan expresses fear, but her mother reassures her. As Lee and his son depart, Regan yearns to accompany them, but is denied. Upset, she storms off. Meanwhile, Lee and his son head to a river with fish traps. Lee reveals that the river's noise masks their whispers, offering a moment of connection. Back at the farmhouse, Evelyn struggles with a heavy bag, unknowingly causing a potential noise issue. At the river, a waterfall creates a loud disturbance, prompting Marcus's astonishment. Lee seizes the opportunity to scream at the top of his lungs, revealing that the river's noise can mask their voices from the creatures. Back at the farmhouse, Chaos ensues as Regan decides to be rebellious. Marcus questions his father's decision, and deep-seated emotions linger beneath the surface. He understands that she holds herself responsible for her brother's demise. Even Evelyn, in moments of solitude, gazes at her deceased son's bed, shedding tears. Regan retrieves the very toy that led to her brother's tragic fate, illuminates its lights, and places it tenderly on her brother's resting place. As the duo retraces their steps towards the dwelling, they encounter a dilapidated home. Passing by, an elderly man stands nearby. Maris notices the man's deceased wife, prompting Lee to protect his son. The old man, however, disregards Lee's warning, unleashing a scream that compels the duo to flee and hide, forced to listen to the gruesome fate awaiting the man back at the house. Amidst the chaos, another complication arises. Evelyn, with the imminent arrival of her baby, navigates towards the basement, but accidentally steps on a nail, causing a disturbance. Despite dropping a picture frame, she suppresses her scream and proceeds, painfully reaching an electricity box to cast a red hue outside, spotting an alien upstairs. The tension escalates. Unable to communicate with her baby amidst the heightened intensity, she resorts to grabbing an alarm clock, breathing heavily as the alien lurks nearby. Lee and Marcus, finally reaching the house, enter a state of fight or flight as they notice the ominous red lights. The alien descends the stairs, Evelyn concealing herself. The proximity of the alien forces her to muffle her breathing, but the baby's indifference compels Evelyn to cover her mouth. The timer set by her finally goes off, affording her the brief moments needed to ascend from the basement. However, a chilling revelation awaits her. A second creature looms outside. Lee observes the situation and instructs his son to create a diversion. Marcus swiftly dashes away, while Evelyn ascends the stairs and settles into the bathtub. The extraterrestrial entity progresses upstairs, rendering Evelyn mute simultaneously. As the alien nears, Marcus ignites fireworks, affording Lee the opportunity to infiltrate the house. He follows a trail of blood to an unsettling discovery, a blood-soaked bathtub. Believing his wife is deceased, Lee takes a seat only to stumble upon her hiding in the shower, cradling their newborn. Meanwhile, Marcus approaches the house, detecting peculiar sounds in the foliage. Recognizing the presence of an alien, he sprints, the creature in close pursuit. Fortune intervenes as Marcus accidentally knocks himself unconscious. Lee discreetly guides his wife and newborn towards the cellar. However, the infant's cries attract the aliens, yet they manage to seal off the entrance just in time. From above, the alien emits a piercing scream, prompting Lee to swiftly secure an oxygen mask on the baby, placing it in a soundproof crib in the adjacent field. Regan, alerted by Marcus's flashlight, searches for him. Unaware of the alien standing behind her, she remains oblivious until the creature begins listening for any signs of life. The alien retreats, and Evelyn awakens to find Lee by her side. The revelation that their underground bunker is genuinely soundproof surprises them. Anxious about her other children, Evelyn panics, lamenting the weight of her lost child. In her arms, Lee reassures her, absolving her of blame, and pledges to protect their remaining children. In the field, Regan and Marcus reunite, sharing a heartfelt embrace. Emerging from the safety of the cellar, Lee remains oblivious to the formidable water leak spawned by the extraterrestrial presence. Meanwhile, the two youngsters outside ignite a flame atop the grain silo, only to witness its swift demise. Stranded, they await their father's rescue. Lee, consulting his security cameras, takes a step back in alarm. Concurrently, Evelyn rouses to the deluge, infiltrating the cellar. To compound matters, the alien lurks in the adjacent room, beside her slumbering infant, crib agape. Maintaining composure, she traverses the submerged space. As the alien submerges its head, the baby's soft murmurs escalate as Evelyn cradles it, and the alien's head emerges from the water, heading toward the source of the cascading water. Evelyn leaves the room. The scene shifts to Lee scouring the cornfield for his children. Discovering his son's bag, he realizes the impending threat closing in on Evelyn. Meanwhile, atop the grain silo, the siblings engage in a heated debate about their father's impending arrival. Abruptly, Marcus descends through a hatch, the sound of which startles the alien away from Evelyn. Seizing the opportunity, Lee swiftly ascends his tractor, upon realizing his children are stranded atop the grain silo. Regan, perched atop the silo, peers down at Marcus, who experiences a moment of panic, nearly buried in the grain. Regan plunges into the grain, successfully rescuing her brother, but succumbing to a complete submersion. As Marcus sits atop the hatch, extending his hand into the grain, he pulls his sister to safety. Lee dashes towards the silo, his heart pounding, and the two youngsters beside him maintain an eerie silence. The hatch swings open atop the roof, revealing Marcus wielding a flashlight. Suddenly, an extraterrestrial menace leaps from the shadows, prompting the kids to seek refuge beneath the hatch. Fortuitously, the cochlear implant emits a high-frequency disturbance, causing the alien to hastily retreat. Evelyn heads towards the surveillance cameras, observing Lee's full-speed sprint to the silo. He reunites with his children, embracing them tightly. The looming threat of the alien necessitates hushed commands for silence. Despite initial plans to hide in the truck, Lee, armed with an axe, confronts the alien. A swing, however, sends him soaring meters above the ground, prompting Marcus's desperate cry. Regan silences Marcus, and they brace for impending consequences. Regan's implant emits another high-pitched frequency, but she deactivates it, leading to a shattered window. As the alien resumes its assault, Lee drops the axe, and the alien ceases its attack. In a poignant moment, Lee professes his love for Regan, screaming as the children and Evelyn witness his demise. Seizing the distraction, the children return to their mother, but the alien threat persists. Seeking refuge, the trio hides in their father's basement. It's Regan's first time in the basement, where she discovers her father's efforts on the creature. As Marcus cradles the newborn, Regan cries, realizing the extent of her father's sacrifices. The lights flicker as the alien descends the stairs. Evelyn, armed with a shotgun, patiently waits for the perfect shot. The TVs flicker, irritating the alien. Regan, recalling her father's work, activates her implant's high frequency, causing the creature to convulse. Hearing the baby cry, Regan places her implant on the speakers, inducing excruciating pain in the creature. However, when they lower their guard, the alien charges, prompting Evelyn to deliver a fatal shot. Yet, a new dilemma arises. The shotgun blast attracts more aliens. Undeterred, Regan cranks the speakers to full volume, and Evelyn smirks, preparing for the impending onslaught. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe for more content. Let us know which movie you'd like us to recap next.